There's the jingle playing.
Rhett Palmer, the mayor of the airwaves, is ready to go. Talking to people you want to know. Face to face, one-on-one. Get the story and have some fun with Rhett Palmer.
And now, the most trusted name in radio, Rhett Palmer, the mayor of the airwaves.
Give me a lot of hot air.
It's hot already.
It is good. Usually when Israel gets hot really fast. Number 3.
It is I, Mayor of the Airwaves. How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? So we have a group of people in here. Of course, we have Mr. James Feeney. He has his own show, his own podcast, and he is an entrepreneur.
Yes.
Coming here from Silicon Valley, owns a home here, home out west, and a home up in Massachusetts, right?
Massachusetts.
In the summertime.
Cape Cod.
We also have former U.S. diplomat David Hunter, who lives in town. How you doing, David?
Thanks, Red. Nice to be here.
5 different nations: Spain, India, South Korea, Pakistan, and Ukraine.
Got it.
Look at that. It's only taken 6 years. I like that. We also have my friend Jad Shaloub, and he, of course, his dad is the famous doctor up in Sebastian. And Jad is also a young married man, had his first baby already. Congratulations on the marriage and
Thank
the first
you.
baby. What's
Thank
your
you.
daughter's name?
Son.
Oh, son.
Alexander. Yeah.
Alexander.
Yes.
Oh, okay. And he's running for the hospital district, Seton Hospital District. And,
Well, Alexander's only 6 months, but I'm running for the hospital district.
Okay. Now, number 3, we're going to discuss this. It's really hot in here. Did you put the air down for us? Because it's hot in here. Maybe we need to open that door. Would you mind to open that door for us? Because I closed it because there was a poet that showed up, and I didn't, we had.
Not a fan of poetry.
No, I'm a poet myself.
Okay.
Israel withdraws troops for KAHN, Khan Yunis.
Yeah,
That's
Khan
a
Yunis.
celebration.
No, Khan Yunis is a city in southern Gaza.
Okay, Israel just announced a withdrawal of its troops. So this is a step forward. This is a what do you call it when you put
It might
the
be a step
bird on
forward.
the stick or whatever? Right.
We're going to discuss that. Yeah.
Okay. They say this is to try a new approach to the war on Hamas, also to offer a break in fighting for Israeli troops after months of their ground offensive. Does this signal a new phase of the Gaza war? Something else? Of course, Netanyahu said, "No dice, no ceasefire unless you give us the
Hostages.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the argument that the U.S. Has been making, the Biden administration and the government in general, is that the way that Israel is conducting this so-called war on the Hamas terror group is inappropriate and ineffective and actually counterproductive.
In your opinion?
No, that's what they're saying.
Who's saying
the
that?
government? The U.S. government is saying that.
That doesn't.
That includes the National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan and the Secretary of State Tony Blinken and others like that. They're saying that the strategy that Benjamin Netanyahu is pursuing with his far right coalition, and we'll get into that a little later because a lot of Americans don't distinguish within Israel. There are various competing factions of who should be taking the course of action and what that course of action should be. Netanyahu has managed to kind of jury-rig this situation with 63 members of the Knesset, their parliament, where he has these far-right people that are keeping him in office. He's got about 6 or 8 votes from this super far-right groups, which is Ben Gvir and Smotrich. And they are keeping him in office, and he is, in turn, complying with their demands on how this war should be conducted. Otherwise, if they don't get their way, they're going to pull out of his coalition collapses. That's the problem. So he is hostage to his far right. The far right can collapse his government and is threatening. In fact,
How much of this is conjecture on your part and reality?
This is all fact, okay? You guys can go back and look at the books, look at the history.
Do you agree?
I'll let David finish.
Yeah. Anyway, so in fact, even today, with these so-called hostage talks that are going on in Doha, the deal is requiring that the package, whatever is negotiated by the intelligence chiefs that are meeting over there, that be brought back to the Israel war cabinet and the so-called security cabinet, and be given a green light by these far right people. And if they don't get what they want, they're going to cancel the package.
It's kind of like how the far left has hijacked the Democrat Party.
Okay,
They
don't
try
bring
to-
domestic politics into this.
Well,
Okay?
no, well,
I'm sorry, but
well,
but
no,
Jim,
no,
Jim
no,
is,
wait,
Jim
hold on,
is
we're
stepping
not
over
gonna-
the line.
Everything,
No, no, we're not-
everything,
we're not-
everything matters here.
We're not
everything
gonna,
matters.
hold
Let me-
on, fellas.
You can't
We're not
compartmentalize.
going to muzzle anybody. No, let me say this.
Yeah.
President Modi of India, which we're going to discuss a little later
Yeah,
on,
yeah.
had his political opponent arrested. Okay, now, I want you to listen to me.
Yeah.
Okay, this is truth.
Yeah.
The guy on Shark Tank, billionaire, Mr. Wright, Mr. Nice Guy, whatever he is, okay, he will not buy any more properties in New York City. I just sold my house. I say it's worth $4 million. They say it's only worth $2 million. I only get $2 million. I don't get arrested for inflating the value of my property. I wanted it to be worth that. Maybe I thought it was worth that.
Okay.
Where you going
Okay,
with
hold
this,
on.
Rhett?
Now I'm going to finish without interruption. Trump, on the other hand, don't you do that. Trump, on the other hand, said that his property was worth this. The bank loaned him the money. Maybe it wasn't worth that. But anyway, the bank got paid back all their money. No
So-
crime was committed.
so what?
The fact that he was arrested and sued, arrested for this, is absolutely ludicrous, and it shows you they have weaponized the government, and that is evil.
Okay,
What does
Rhett-
that have to do
Yeah,
with
it doesn't
what
have
David's
anything to
talking
do.
about?
That's the whole
Yes,
point.
it does.
Rhett,
He's
Rhett,
talking about Netanyahu.
I'm talking about
Okay.
Netanyahu. That does not bring Trump into it. Okay, that's the whole problem.
It brings in the fact that it's
but hold on,
acceptable
Rhett,
now.
Rhett,
Putin
Rhett.
had. Let me finish. Putin had somebody killed, right? We all believe that Putin had his competition killed, right?
Possibly.
Okay. Now we have this. We had other situations like this. Who was the lady that was taken out? Was it India a few
It
years
doesn't
ago?
matter. Go
It
ahead.
all does matter.
So-
It does matter when we assassinate people, and it's becoming more fluid.
Okay,
Right, we're
what-
kind of
what
far afield.
We are trying to stay on subject here. This is a problem that we have in this discussion group, and I remind
But it's
Jim,
showing the
and I
pulse
remind Jim,
of the age.
and
Well, David, you've got it is your show. So ultimately, I don't disagree with you on certain points. Just to disagree with you, I have principled positions behind all of them, as do you. So it's important to really find the areas of agreement and then focus. As a diplomat, you know this. Find the areas of agreement and focus on those. Some stuff we're just not going to not going to
yeah,
agree
and I don't
on.
have a problem with that, but I have a problem with drifting off topic.
Yes.
That's my problem, and
Well,
that's
just
what.
remember this, though. You go and you do a lot of research, which I have absolute respect
Yeah.
for. But I am the everyman who lives by his heart. I'm an artist. I feel before I think.
But
and I
he's a
try to
voter.
control my feelings with my thought and my actions.
He's a voter.
I'm a voter.
But
Right.
That's
but
all
we
I
have
will,
a lot of voters
but we
I'm a
will-
shoeshine
on the
boy
line
from
here.
upstate New York.
But we'll lose our audience in the weeds if we don't stay on track. That's what I'm trying to do. So
Yeah, I agree.
So what's your
We're trying
point
to
on
get
the?
from point A to B, and we were just discussing the fact that Netanyahu is being corralled. I would call it hijacked by a far right coalition of these Zionists.
Is this conjecture, or how would you say you know this?
Well, I just explained to
It's
you.
like people say, "Oh, Trump's doing this because this."
Rhett,
Well, you don't know his
Rhett,
heart why he's doing
I
this.
just explained to you that there are multiple divisions within the Israeli government, and not the government, within Israeli
You're
politics.
saying not everybody's for Netanyahu.
No,
a
in
lot.
fact, the majority of people in Israel, according to the information that I've read,
Then how did he get elected?
I just explained to you, he got elected by
think
jury rigging a
So you
coalition.
think, in other words, you think he stole the election like I think
no, he didn't
Biden
steal
stole
the election. No, and don't bring Biden or Trump into
Yep,
it.
it happens all over the place.
Keep the American politics out of this. This is foreign policy.
Probably Al Gore won.
Rhett.
Actually, he did
Rhett,
win the popular vote.
Rhett.
Israel also doesn't have elections like we do.
Yeah. All right. No.
What do they have?
Let's
They have
just.
a parliament like England.
Yeah, it's a parliamentary process, and when you get enough votes, enough parliamentarians to support you, you form a majority, which then constitute. And
Is that what they have in Canada?
I don't. Yeah.
Because they're
that's
trying
a-
to oust that guy that's up there now,
Yeah.
right?
Has some form of parliament.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
So anyway, the fundamental question here was the withdrawal of troops from Khan Yunis. That was the fundamental question.
Khan Yunis.
Khan Yunis is a city that has been bombed mercilessly in Gaza. It has been destroyed, and the hospitals and all of these other things have been attacked in a very
And on a superficial view, and I'm not saying this is about that.
Yeah.
On a superficial view, so, oh, this guy's bad. This guy Netanyahu. Whoa, whoa, whoa. How many times have they pricked and been a thorn in the side to Israel, other than going in there and killing these 1,500 people? What other things have been going on? And finally, remember, they're getting their competence or whatever. I mean, they elected Hamas.
Okay, I want to.
I don't like war.
Okay, I
I
want.
don't want any children killed.
Okay, the withdrawal from Khan Yunis is is an important development
Why?
if it is part of a process of refocusing the Israeli military to more precise strikes. That's something the Biden administration, the U.S. government has been encouraging. They're saying that this use of massive bombings, the starvation campaign of denying food supplies and water and things like that, this is essentially what you call at least near.
What about these hefty bombs that supposedly blow out
Wait
these
a minute, wait a
tunnels?
minute.
And
This
now
is-
you're saying they don't, right?
Let me explain. This is a near genocidal campaign that Israel is engaged in. They are currently charged with genocide by the International Court of Justice. As I said, the rapporteur for the United Nations has said genocide is ongoing by what they're doing.
What would have been a better way to do this?
And well,
Bernie
targeted.
Sanders puts everything down, but he never has a
Well,
solution.
well,
What
the-
is your solution?
Well, the concept of a ceasefire and then sending Israeli troops in quietly undercover. They have these Mossad type operations where they go in disguised as Israelis.
They are more.
and they could take out these
What's the
Hamas
opposite?
leaders.
What's the opposite of inept?
They could take out the Hamas leaders one
Yeah.
at a time.
What is the opposite of inept?
Capable?
Capable.
Capable,
Now,
yeah.
if that's true, though, maybe because we're inferior, which we are,
Yeah.
I think. Why didn't we take out Castro, who has beaten up these people and been an oppressor for all these years? When we went in there, why couldn't we get rid of him?
Because
Why not
the-
assassinate
because the-
that
because the-
SOB?
Because the CIA was inept.
Just like they were saying they had bombs of mass destruction, which
these-
turned out to be a lie.
Okay, I don't want to get off on
Or
Castro, but there
misinformation.
was what was called, Russia is much more capable of conducting these targeted assassinations. That's the term for it, targeted assassinations. What Israel did, on the contrary, instead of a quiet, umbrella in the leg type assassination, as the
I
Russians.
don't understand what that means.
If you know anything about old spycraft,
We're getting
I do not.
Way back in
off
history.
Just go ahead.
guys.
Just make it short and concise.
The point is that Russia and others are good at targeted assassinations. The CIA is not so good at it.
No, that's a known.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
So
a
what
known
is the-
known.
what is the point
So
you're making?
Rhett was asking, why don't we do
Well,
things
because they could have
differently?
gone in surreptitiously instead of killing all the common
Let's
people.
All right.
I think
Okay,
it's.
now
I
wait,
think,
Rhett's the
hold on.
moderator here.
I think you have two other guests here. It's important to kind of,
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm the one that's being interviewed.
Okay.
Okay,
Go
that's
ahead.
the point.
You're
the point. You're the
talking.
guest, and I'm the interviewee. So,
But they
and
get to say their opinion.
they get to say their
Well,
opinions.
in an interview, you have an interviewer who asks questions, which the interviewee. It can't just be all your talking points,
Right.
Yeah.
Because that's not an interview. That's a.
No.
That's a.
No, I'm trying to.
It's a monologue.
I'm trying to explain what is going on, and this idea of an alternative. Rhett asked me a question. He said, "How else would you do this other than this massive?"
You
bombing?"
finish that, and then we get to comment
yeah,
on that. Okay.
exactly. I'm
How
trying to
else could have this been done
I'm-
humanely?
Okay, and what I
How do you have war humanely? But,
what I want to explain is that what Israel is doing with its current so-called war is approaching the scale of genocide. They have one term would be sloppy rules of engagement. That would be another excuse, saying that they have killed people, but they are not actually knowing who they're killing. They're not knowing who they're killing. The Israeli Defense Force admitted to Haratz just in March 30th. That's a few days ago. They admitted that they think they killed, out of the 32,000 who have been murdered or killed in Gaza, that they think 9,000 of those are terrorists. But the IDF is now saying that's a bunch of baloney.
IDF means
The Israeli Defense Force. They're saying this is a bunch of baloney. We don't know. Anybody who, a terrorist is anybody the IDF has killed in the area. So in other words, if we kill you and you're in the area, you're a terrorist. Now they have something called kill zones. And this is something Jim might find interesting, being, training in his
so. You
military.
think there's the wolves being pulled over the eyes with these
I
numbers?
think they don't know, and the Israeli military admits, high-level commanders in the Israeli government admit they don't know who they're killing.
Okay, now let me just say, and then you'll wonder why I'm talking about this, but
Yeah.
and let me say it,
Yeah.
and then it'll be very short. This is why they're saying crime is down in New York City. Yes, because as Mr. Woods said, the former actor, remember, he said, if you arrest fewer people, you have less crime. So it's deceitful saying that crime is down in New York City. My point being, this is human activity. We have to be careful about what's said and the